Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to Juicy Word page. And today I bring you guys a very powerful, thoughtful conversation today that I want every one of us to share our thought and look deep into this conversation. So today's conversation is survival the same thing as living? Like as a woman, surviving is it the same thing as living? So that's the question. So we're gonna go deep into this conversation. So I realize you surviving and you are living is a very big difference, and that is why we are here. So when you are surviving, you don't have time for thinking, you don't have time for curiosity, you don't have time for freedom, you don't have time to cross-check things that has been put into your mindset or the things that have been programmed into you, because all you do is wake up in the morning, go to work, get paid, survive, take care of your kids, take care of your family, and you repeat the same thing every day for 365 days of your life. And before I go through deep into this conversation, I would like to share my own personal experience. So this could look very real. So when I was working, I think when I was working some years back, I got paid like 70 to 50, 60,000. That was some years back. I realized that all I think about is work in the morning, go back home in the night. Immediately I got paid, I tried to think about how I'm gonna survive, pay my bills, um, live normal life, eat, and just pay bills, live. I keep repeating that for 365 days, right? And I believe that 80 or 90% of Africa, most especially in Africa, this is the kind of life they live every day. So that is why we are not united. That is why we are not thinking. That is why our life is being very, very, very slow. So I noticed that when I was working, I was not thinking. I was only surviving because I don't have that freedom of mind, freedom of speech, freedom of awakening, freedom of awareness, curiosity, freedom of life, freedom of humanity, because I was in a surviving mode. So all I think about is eat, pay my bills, and do things, support who I need to support, and I keep repeating those things every day. So the reason why this video is created is because I want people to be aware of a lot of things, and this is why we Africa we are not connecting. We lack we lack freedom of speech. So now the system is to keep people poor. The system is to remain people poor. That is what the system all about in Africa. That's why you see that most people they feel pressure by social media or what they see on social media. They feel pressure of what their age mate is doing. We don't take life slowly. We don't think. We don't have that freedom of speech. So now, when you are living, this is what will definitely happen to you when you are living. You will create time for awareness. You will create time for thinking. You will create time for your woman rights. You will create time for your life will become purpose and meaningful towards you. You start putting attention on things, how you live, what makes you happy, the important things in your life, and things that you really want to build. A life of legacy, a life of meaningful. So I feel a lot of Africa is going through this, and this is why we are not united, because we are in a surviving mode. We are not in the living mode. So this is something that really, really affects us mentally. So 85, will I say 85 or 90%? Okay, let me put it 90% of Africa are dead mentally. So that is why we can never be united. Yes, that is why we can never be united. We worship people that can give us money. We worship people that can help us in a surviving mood. We don't chase after thinking, curiosity, nature, the growth of life, the purpose why we are living on earth. We don't go after that. We chase money. So 85% of Africa chase money. We chase money, we chase surviving, we chase wealth, we chase cars, we chase house, we chase things that we just want to have this because of our family. So we have been programming through culture, through our system, and through how they want the system to remain. So that is why people are not growing. People live the same life 365 days. No, imagine someone waking up 8 o'clock in the morning, coming back home 9 o'clock in the night, get paid at the end of the month, maybe like 50 and 100k. Let me say 150k or 200k. You get paid 200k. So what will be in your mind? First of all, what will be in your mind is how are you going to survive? Even before you got paid, you have to take a loan, or you have to, how will I put it? You have to think about how you're going to survive before you get paid, because you're not getting paid every week, or you're not getting paid every 2 weeks, or you have to get paid every month. So you will always think about your surviving. You will always think how you're going to survive. So imagine a man or a woman working for 365 days, and she's getting paid about 150 or 200, and she's above 30 years or 35 years. All she is going to think about is, when am I going to get married? When am I going to have my personal kids? When am I going to be by myself? Or when am I going to have my whole family? So there will not be time for curiosity. Is this life I'm living? Is it the purpose I came to the world? Is it the reason why I'm living life? Or what is the major reason why we are being in this life? So people don't want to feel curiosity again. People don't want to think out of the box again. People don't want to sit back and think about it. Is this a normal life, or I'm just surviving? I'm living a surviving life. Now, like I said earlier, when I was working, when I was aiming like 60 to 70k, I was not thinking. To be honest, I was not thinking. Everything that be on my head is that I want to survive. I want to get my bills paid, and I want to eat. I want to secure food. I just want to survive. And when I go into social media, I see people living life, people making money. All in my mind is like, I want to make this money. I want to chase this money. I want to chase this money. I want to do things that people are doing. I want to belong, because of this is the system that was creating to me in my country. This is the system that was putting into me. So now, I have to step back a little bit. I have to think about it. Is this life, or I'm just surviving? Why am I scared? Why can't I live without thinking? Why can't I be different from everyone? Why can't I feel like this is a freedom of words? This is my word, and I have to think. And thinking will give you opportunity to learn, unlearn, and relearn, because life is all about learning, relearning, and unlearning. So how do you want to grow when you are thinking how to survive? There is no way you can think, because what will be on your head in 365 days is how you're going to make money. So now we have been programming to survive. We are not programming to think. That is why you see the new generation now, or the generation in life now, they only want to go into surviving. I want to work. I want to get money. I want to take my father out of the poverty, take my mother out of the poverty. I want to hustle hard. I want to make money. So we don't think can my life actually be meaningful? Am I living because of social pressure? Am I living because of the things I see? Am I living because I'm surviving, or I'm living the life I want to live? So this is a very big conversation, and I feel when I started noticing that the life I was living before, it was a life of survivor, not my own life. And this is the system. I can bet for free, 85% of people are living, up to today, are living without thinking. That is why it is easy for culture to tell you that this is how you will do things. You have to obey, because you can't be curious, because you are surviving mode. A survival mode will always obey. So we are programming to obey, not to be a good thinker, or not to be a deep thinker. So it will be very, very hard for us to unite. It will be very, very hard for us to love ourselves. It will be very, very hard for us to understand that life is all about learning, unlearning, and relearning. So we can't create our own world. We can only follow the programming because we have to survive. A surviving mind will never think of growth. A surviving mind will never think of curiosity. A surviving mind will never be a good thinker. A surviving mind will never unlearn, relearn, and unlearn. So this is very, very important as a human being. Like, why are you not thinking right? Have you ever asked the question, are you surviving or you are living? And this is really affecting. So when I see people working 365 days, people work like they are going to make it, but they are just working just to remain in poverty. They're just working just to remain in that system. So we are obedient towards, okay, I'm going to tell you for free. Some people work for these 365 days. Some don't get paid. Some don't get paid after working. They have to wait for like 2 weeks for like the other months before they get paid. So now, you that your salary has been delayed, how do you want to think? Like, how do you want to have time to think? Like, okay, this is the kind of life I have to believe in. Okay, this is the kind of things I have to be curious about. Because what will be in your mind at that moment is how you're going to survive. And that is the system. You're not going to blame yourself. That's the system that was created into you. So now, a survivor bringing a kiss, bringing a child to life. Now, how do you want to teach that child his or her own human rights? How do you want to give them the freedom of speech to talk how they feel? You can only program them to what you have been programming to. You can only teach them what you have been, you understand what I'm saying? What you have been putting into. So Africa is not united because of we are surviving, we are not living. Africa is not united because we are a slow thinker. We are not a deep thinker. We are being obeyed from the system, and this is why poverty keep rising. This is why poverty keep increasing. This is why we keep dying. This is why we keep killing ourselves. Now imagine a man and a woman that they are surviving. The man is getting 70K, the woman is getting, let's say, 60K. So what is going to be in their mind? How to pay bills, take care of the child, send the child to school, and they keep on repeating the same routine for 365 days. So how are they going to go? How are they going to be curious? How are they going to think? How are they going to even understand the meaning of love, the purpose of love, the purpose of living, like direction? So when you are living, you would definitely be a good thinker. Like I said, you would definitely have a purpose while you are living. You will know when to get married. You will know when to have a kids. You will know when to make a decision. You will know what to obey and what to decline. So you will have a choice. So you will take your life slowly, processing, and you will always make a right decision. I'm not saying you can't make a wrong decision sometimes, but you will be able to correct your mistake, because without you making a mistake or without you thinking about your mistake, there's no how you can grow. So someone that is surviving, how do you want to think about your mistake? How do you want to just sit down, think about it? Is this kind of life that I wish for myself? Is it this kind of things that I want for myself? But when you are surviving, when you are in the survival mode, you wake up by 5 o'clock, you go to work, come back by 8 o'clock. All you want to do is, let me get home, eat, sleep, and keep that same routine. Pay my house rent, take care of my kids, take care of my family. That's why you see the young generation now. I see a lot of young generation saying that I want to make mama proud, I want to make my father proud, I want to make my mother proud. Because they are hustling to make their mother proud. Because their mother have lived a life whereby she can't, like, she's not living a normal life again. She's not living a life again. So their mother needs to survive. So they bring this new generation now to continue the surviving mode, not their living life system, to keep the surviving mode. That is why we Africa, we can never unite. Yes, we can never unite, because I was a victim of this actually. So that's why I have to share my own experience. I I've been working for 365 days and no purpose. All what I think is, let me get paid and sort my bills, eat, survive, and that is all what I think. So it took me time, like it took me a lot of time to calm, to settle, and to think like, is this life, or I'm just being obeyed by the system that was creating to me? So are we living, or we are just surviving? 95% of Africa is surviving, they are not living. We are surviving, we are not living. And this is not life. So how can someone that is surviving be united? That is why people are dangerous. People are very hard to trust. People are very, very hard to make conversation with. People just want to be happy. They want to dance. They want to go to the club. They want to oppress themselves. So when you finally make it, when you are surviving, you want to feel so big of yourself. You don't want to step down, relax, calm, and you phrase your life. Is this the kind of life I want? I plan for myself. Is this the kind of life I want? So we are very desperate. Everybody is desperate because we are a survivor. So have you sit down and ask yourself, am I a survivor or I'm a liver? Am I a thinker or I'm just obeying what has been programming towards me? So 85% is they are being obedient by the system. They are not being challenged by the system. We don't live a free life. We live a life that has been controlled. That is why we can't unite. And this is very, very, very bad as a woman being living 365 days for surviving. And this is not life we need to live. We need to unite. And before we can unite, we need to make a very deep conversation, being curious. So Africans have been programming, and African youth and African people has been, how will I put it? I think they have been, like, they are dead mentally. Because now, the chain, how they chain Africa now, they remove the chain from the hand and the leg. Now they put the chain in our mental health. And the only way you can enslave a woman is mentally, by surviving. So the system is to survive, not to live. The system right now is to survive, not to live. And we need to wake up to this system. This is a very dead system. It's a dead system. It's outdated system. And many people are not even awoken to it. So when you come online and tell people that, okay, let's curious about something, let's talk about something, people see you as you are crazy. People see you as you don't know what you're doing, or you don't know how to think, because they have been obeyed, like they have been obeyed by what I've been programming. So are we living, or we are just surviving? That is my question to everyone. Like, are we living, or we are just surviving? And when you are surviving, trust me, when you are living the life of surviving, trust me, you are dead. You are a dead person living, because you don't have a choice. Yeah, you don't have a choice. You are a dead person living. So we have to change this thinking. We have to sit down, rephrase our mind, and put things together and make sure that we get our life how we're supposed to be. So this is my thought, because I'm just being curious, like, is this the kind of life people are supposed to be living? 365 days surviving, 365 days surviving. That is why we hope. That's why we go to church. We hope on God. Oh God, this year should be my year. This year should be a very great year for me. This year should be a year that my life is changed. This year should be we are like, we've been stuck. We can't think anymore. We are only surviving. We can't even think anymore. Our brain has been programming. Our brain has been dead. So I'm here to just like put some awakening towards people, and I believe that when we can think, we'll be able to know the kind of life we're living. So that's just why I'm making this video, and I hope a lot of people is gonna understand, like, go through the kind of this system and understand what if they are really need to think about things they are going through. So that's why we need to learn in life, and we need to unlearn, and we need to relearn. So thank you everyone. Share me your opinion. How do you feel? This is do you think this what I'm saying is not actually the truth, or you feel I'm only just overthinking ahead of this? So please share your opinion and comment, like. Don't forget to follow Juicy World, and we get some bigger conversation that we need to put out here, because I'm here to make people feel safe. I'm here to make people feel love. I'm here to make people think what they are not ready to think. So that is why I'm here. So love you guys. Like you guys. I hope we learn, unlearn, and we learn about life. Thanks, bye. Love you. Stay blessed. Enjoy the bless of life. Bye.